Here at home, the trade union federation Saftu leading a picket at the US Johannesburg Consulate. They say in solidarity with the people of Palestine. This follows the resumption of that armed conflict. Juniour Khumalo is standing by outside the consulate. He joins us now. Juniour, good afternoon to you. Why are people protesting outside the US consulate and not the Israeli embassy?
Good afternoon to you, Stephen. Yes, the Federation of Trade Unions, Saftu, has convened a protest outside the US Consulate here in Sandton. I think the main reason, from speaking to the Secretary General of Saftu, Mr. Mavavi, he said that the motivation was mainly the utterances made by the US President, Mr. Joe Biden. Yesterday, Mr. Joe Biden had a press briefing at the White House where he spoke for almost 2 hours, speaking about how the U.S. Was backing Israel and that the Pentagon was sending ammunition to Israel during this conflict. But I'll just step away from the shot just to show you what is happening outside the U.S. Consulate. We saw also tensions just boiling outside the U.S. Consulate. There was a pro-Israeli individual who was in his car, and he said a few things to the people that are gathered outside the U.S. Consulate, which led to a confrontation and an exchange of a few words during that moment that happened just a few minutes ago. But with us right now, I am just going to ask one of the organizers. Besides Saftu, we also have the BDS coalition that is also taking part in this protest. Ma'am, could you please introduce yourself and just give us an understanding of why you decided to come here today?
Sure. My name's Roshan Dadu, and I'm the coordinator of the South African BDS coalition. And I'm sure everyone around the world has been watching with horror the scenes that we see on our TVs every day now from Gaza, the open-air prison that's being bombed to pieces. It really is like watching a genocide by the occupation forces of Israel. But we know that they get their weapons directly from the United States of America. So the United States is as complicit in war crimes and genocide. Just today there was news boasting, the apartheid Israeli state boasting of yet another shipment of weapons. And Biden has committed himself to supporting the apartheid state of Israel and increasing the funding for the military directly for ammunition and weapons that we then see being fired and destroying residential buildings, even UN buildings, schools. There's nowhere safe in Gaza now. They've sealed people in. There's no food, no water, no electricity going in. People can't get out. It's a crime against humanity. And we're protesting at the United States Embassy to show their complicity and to demand of our government that we stand as South Africa against the United States. We have always been in solidarity with the Palestinian people's struggle and their right to resist apartheid and oppression, just in the same way as South Africans did, our liberation movements did. And we think there's way much more our government should be doing internationally to end the Israeli impunity, end the fact that they can just contravene every single international law, humanitarian law, and demand that they cut all ties. We don't want to have an apartheid Israeli embassy in Pretoria in a post-apartheid South Africa. We don't want to see our sports teams going and playing Israeli sports teams as Orlando Pirates did recently. We don't want our rugby union to think it can invite Israeli teams. Fortunately, we mobilized and South Africans said no, and they didn't allow that team to come here. But we know, just as apartheid South Africa did, they use sports and international events and culture, sports washing, art washing, to hide the crime so they can no longer hide because we're watching it live on TV. And so we're demanding the US end its complicity and that our government stands up to the imperialist United States and the European Union. And we will expressing our solidarity with the Palestinians who have a right to resist occupation and apartheid and genocide.
Thank you so much, ma'am. That is Rosi Dadu from the BDS coalition in South Africa, saying that they have decided to come here to the U.S. Consulate to protest because of the utterances that were made by the U.S. President, Mr. Joe Biden, who indicated that the U.S. would be shipping some ammunition to Israel and also will be moving its warships to that region. So that is the reason why they have come and protested here at the consulate, Stephen.
Juniour Khumalo, thank you very much indeed for that live update. I'm sure there'll be other protests and rallies for support of various groups in the Middle East in our country.